Let me ask you something first. What kind of man spends 27 years in prison and comes out without hatred? This is not fiction. This is the true life of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Nelson Mandela was born in 1918 in a small village called Mvezo in South Africa. His name, Rolihlahla, literally means troublemaker. No one knew then how accurate that name would become. Mandela was born into a royal Thembu family, but royalty did not protect him from injustice. As he grew up, South Africa was tightening its grip under apartheid, a system where skin color determined everything. Where you lived, where you worked, whether you were human in the eyes of the law. Mandela watched his people humiliated, beaten, silenced, simply for being black. At first, he believed in peaceful resistance. He studied law, became one of the first black lawyers in Johannesburg, and used the courtroom to defend those the system tried to crush. But the system didn't listen. Protests were met with bullets. Peace was met with prison. Hope was met with death. After the Sharpeville massacre, Mandela realized something painful. Peace alone was no longer enough. He joined the African National Congress's armed wing, not because he loved violence, but because he believed freedom was worth sacrifice. In 1962, Mandela was arrested. 2 years later, he stood in court during the Rivonia trial, knowing he might be executed. And he said words that would echo through history. "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." He was not executed. Instead, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Mandela was sent to Robben Island, a brutal prison surrounded by cold ocean water. His cell was tiny. He slept on the floor. He broke stones under the sun. He was allowed one letter every 6 months. Years passed. Friends died. His children grew up without him. His mother died. He was not allowed to attend the funeral. And yet, something remarkable happened. Mandela refused to hate. He studied Afrikaans, the language of his oppressors, because he believed understanding was power. He treated guards with dignity. Slowly, even his jailers began to respect him. 27 years passed. In 1990, the world held its breath. Nelson Mandela walked out of prison, not bent, not broken, not angry. He raised his fist and smiled. Instead of calling for revenge, Mandela did something no one expected. He called for reconciliation. 4 years later, in 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election. Nelson Mandela became the country's first black president. A man who had every reason to destroy his enemies chose instead to build a nation. Mandela served only 1 term, then stepped down, proving leadership was not about power but purpose. When he died in 2013, the world did not just mourn a man. It mourned a lesson. That forgiveness can be stronger than violence. That patience can defeat cruelty. That true power is self-control. This was not a saint. This was a human being who chose courage every single day.